When humans were living in the jungle and hunting predators in primordial times, being on high alert was adaptive because there was danger. However, today's notion of danger has altered. Instead of being on high alert for those same anxiety-triggering symptoms, people today are worried about things that used to be threatening. Because those ancient threat radar systems prompted people to take action to survive, they now produce paralysis through anxiety. An anxiety disorder is a condition in which a person experiences anxiety as a result of an incongruity between a real or imagined threat and their level of trust in that threat. In the long run, anxiety is incongruous with trust because it suggests impending danger through phantom emotional or physical dangers. The experience of anxiety is a signal that something is wrong. It was useful in ancient times when humans were navigating dangerous terrain and predators when it prompted them to be on high alert. The experience of anxiety is a signal that something is wrong. Instead of using the same anxiety-producing symptoms to express fear, those same symptoms are now used to express other feelings. The very survival mechanism that used to motivate action now leaves victims paralyzed by worry. There must be a distinction between symptoms of anxiety and the significance ascribed to them. Here are 6 ways to master your anxiety and live a stress-free life. 1. Label it. In real life, there are many shades of gray rather than 2 black and white options. Instead, this artificial dichotomy is created to provide internal reassurance and isn't an accurate representation of the world. This distortion tends to have more undesirable than desirable consequences. It is far more beneficial to absorb uncertainty than to create artificial restrictions and an unrealistic world where it does not. Anxiety sells the narrative of a correct and incorrect decision. The right choice will bring eternal bliss, and the wrong choice will cause pain. Instead of accepting that the keys to happiness and suffering lie within one's grasp, the anxious person accepts that his or her own wisdom is determinative. Living with uncertainty is the ultimate goal, not only embracing it. When you find yourself thinking in absolutes or extremes, such as always or never, you've been ensnared by anxiety. 2. Address it. When anxiety occurs, your emotional experience is abandoned, causing detachment. Instead, think of anxiety as a messenger indicating you must focus on something. To remain curious about your inner experience, make a habit of checking in on yourself internally. It's common for anxious thoughts to act as the courier for a more significant message. For instance, if you examine the anxious thought, for example, achievement anxiety, on the surface, your worry will drive you toward the next goal that you want to achieve. It is vital to pause and reflect on your anxiety before leaping into action. If you look beneath the surface, you may see unresolved issues around self-worth and insecurity, which you are attempting to deal with through achievement. Rather than falling into the vicious cycle of relentless achievement, identify the source of your anxiety and how it manifests. 3. Stop resisting and let go of anxiety. Think compassionately about anxiety by employing Tonglen. This is when you breathe in the unwelcome and out the desired. Through this Buddhist practice, you reverse the natural avoidance of pain and rewire how to handle the discomfort in addition to acknowledging your capacity to handle difficult emotions. By connecting to the universal experience of pain, imagining oneself breathing in discomfort serves to unify people and strengthen them. By refusing to stay in that isolated and helpless state, anxiety is prevented from obtaining power. By changing position, one may be transformed. When you learn something about yourself by exploring anxiety, ignore it and allow it to remain a shadow in your day. Intrusive thoughts and physical symptoms will result. 4. Reduce the impact of intrusive thoughts. When intrusive thoughts repeatedly enter your mind, they are unsolicited and constantly disturbing you. These thoughts want you to believe that they are correct and thus doubt them. They pretend that if you followed their instructions, you would be spared from the pain and vulnerability of being human. Distracting your attention from intrusive thoughts by widening the space between thoughts and your responses to them can help. Searching, dwelling, talking with friends and seeking reassurance all nourish the fear, allowing it to grow. 5. When you learn to interpret intrusive thoughts as symbols, you will be able to recognize that they are merely messages from your subconscious mind and that they do not have to mean anything. Identify the anxious thought. This allows for cognitive diffusion. Because observing requires a witness, a separation forms between the thought and yourself. Perspective emerges when you distance yourself from the thought. When you observe the anxious thought, you distance yourself from it, which reduces its credibility and power. Once you have distance, allow yourself to experience the underlying emotion. Human beings are always experiencing underlying anxiety, self-doubt, helplessness, and unhappiness, no matter what they are doing. The pain they are avoiding cannot be avoided, so it is best to sit with the anxiety and think about how anxiety might be protecting you from it by convincing you that you can fix it through perseverance or action. You may spend hours on a rigorous exercise routine because you are nervous about your appearance, for example. Surface-level anxiety will keep you on a hamster wheel because surface anxiety cannot be resolved through external appearance, only internal management is possible. The more you suppress, control, or manipulate external circumstances, the larger these feelings grow and the more energy they consume. Rather than experiencing and accepting the emotion, it is far more efficient to experience it and let it pass. 6. Check in with yourself regularly. When you want to deal with your emotional experience, imagine it as a river. You can either allow the water from the stream to flow until it gets to the other side, or you can avoid the pain and difficulty by holding back the water until it becomes an obstruction. You need to believe that you are safe to confront whatever unpleasantness comes from the water to have healed on the other side. When you don't want to feel an emotion directly, you must check in with yourself, process your feelings, and respond to them. Journaling, tuning into your body, or setting a check-in reminder on your phone are all suitable means of doing this. You can do this by getting comfortable with your emotions and recording accurate and descriptive self-assessments. You don't need to act or resolve immediately when you are experiencing an emotion such as anxiety. Instead, make room for it, become willing to experience it, and then process and move past it. Anxiety consumes energy. Your mental and physical space is eaten up by that energy. Focusing on anxiety allows it to change, fade away, and open up space for more. In Man's Search for Meaning, psychiatrist and survivor of the Holocaust Viktor E. Frankl examined the reasons people struggle and sometimes even die in the camps. He discusses how the people who made it out of the camps, even with physical and emotional traumas, continued to live meaningful lives. He also talks about how the camps made the people who survived them more empathetic and caring. In his conclusion, Frankl states that to truly survive and thrive, we need to find strength and purpose in ourselves, as well as our souls. Thanks for watching.